Hi.
Hey. So we have here a huge amount of food that has been freshly made by
Me.
Ooh, and what is it?
So this is Indian butter chicken and this is Indian style rice. And this is also known as chicken makhani.
And this is your first time making it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I tasted the sauce already. It tastes amazing.
And we swapped the layers around. So normally we would have the curry on the top and the rice on the bottom, but because there's so much liquid in here, we put the rice at the back.
Because if we just put it on here without being this, there's going to be curry going everywhere.
A curry explosion.
Yeah. And the topic of the day is life as mukbangers, which we will get into in a short while.
So let's feast.
And if you didn't know, Indian food, well, Indians, normally you can start.
Eat with their hands.
Yeah, but only their right hand.
Mm-hmm.
For certain reasons you can look into. But me just trying to use my right arm with her right next to me very close, it's not very easy. And this is a very liquidy dish, so I'm going to be using my left hand, but with a spoon.
And I'm going to try with my hand, but I also have a spoon on standby in case.
On by. It's just so creamy, thick. Flavourful.
Wow.
I've never had butter chicken, but I became aware of it recently when we were looking up for mukbang ideas. So, yeah, what's the ins and outs of being mukbangers
Well,
full time?
we often have sound issues. And outside of our control, outside of our house. And sometimes it means that we can't start the video for ages. And we have to sit there and wait for the sound to pass.
Yeah, just like them. Someone started started watering the garden all by our house, and it was very loud. But they're gone now. They didn't stay around for too long, so it's good. So yeah, there's many dilemmas that can happen as mukbangers that can make things take a lot longer, and that sometimes can be stressful and whatnot.
I'm so hungry.
Well, yeah. Why are we
Oh,
hungrier
it
than
was
we're
a
meant to be?
disaster today. So, this rice I made when we did the last Indian mukbang, and there was so much of it that we had to save it and put it in the freezer.
She put it in a big glass jar.
Now, the glass jar didn't have a lid because I used to use it for kombucha. And instead of having a lid, I put cling film over it, which was fine. However, once I'd made the chicken,
Smarty Pants thought it was a good idea
to defrost the glass jar in the sink because it's like massive. So I put it in the sink and
my sister turned up.
I was
working.
distracted. We were talking about our visa situation and whatnot. And I started pouring the boiling water into the sink and the glass cracked.
I was like, what are you doing? Why are you pouring boiling water into that? It doesn't seem like it's a suitable container, but obviously she wasn't aware of that, otherwise you wouldn't have done it.
So we had to do like surgery to make sure that there was no contact between the glass and the rice.
Well, and we got rid
Throw
of
away
any,
some of the rice.
yeah, that may have had glass on it. And then do all this stuff to get it all out safely whilst most of it's still frozen.
And then I had to defrost it in the steamer.
So we started about an hour or so later than we expected. And you keep wanting to be more prepared earlier on in the day with foods, don't you? Because things like this can happen.
That's why I prefer to do the food the day before, especially dishes like this, because they start tasting nice the next day.
Yeah, so she's going to do that from now on, it seems. Which will be very, very good. So yeah, sometimes things can go wrong when you're prepping the food. Sometimes there's time delays due to certain reasons. Sometimes, well, most of the food she makes is the first time she's making it.
So it's like somebody with no experience making something for the first time and having it scrutinised on camera. So for me, this is a bit like doing a like full-on chef training.
Yeah.
And then having it examined or something.
Yeah, it's like being in Gordon Ramsay's kitchen type of thing. And also, you make large quantities of foods, which makes it a lot more difficult to make.
It's like catering in a way.
Yeah, for like a wedding or something.
Yeah, because we always make lots of food for the camera and then enough food for the next day so that we can eat a whole meal from the mukbang the next day.
Yeah.
So we don't waste any food, and anything that's left over goes into the freezer.
Or the fridge, if we're going to eat the next day.
Yeah.
Well, then you make everything from scratch.
Yeah, so that takes time as well. I'm not going to the cupboard for packets or running down the supermarket and getting convenience stuff.
Yeah. Like most people do mukbangs don't make the Indian food themselves. It's bikes, it saves time, but
Maybe the Indians do.
yeah. If you want to know why we only really eat homemade food,
I think Zach Troy does.
a link for a video up above. You click the link for now. Oh yeah, there's definitely some Indians that make all their food for sure that are mukbangers. So yeah, not everything always goes to plan. But most of the time, 99% of the time, what you make goes right. Just if things aren't having enough time to get organised way before, then there could be issues with the time frame. But certain foods are easier to make than others. And then, yeah, like for the next month, we have planned out what we're pretty much eating every single day for the rest of our mukbangs. So we spend a lot of time into that and thinking about what we have in the house and what we can use up, rather than buying more ingredients when we could just use up what we've got for certain recipes. So there's a lot of brainstorming.
And we order what we can online, stuff that we can't get here because we live on an island. So we have to be a bit more prepared for that and order in larger quantities sometimes.
Yeah, like the flour we normally use, we have to order it from a company. And then meats, we order it from a company that comes up north in Bangkok. Same with the milk and many other things. Then we also have to go shop in certain places where we can get stuff. So there's a lot of pre-planning and effort and work put in before we even start the mukbang. And then we brainstorm a lot of ideas for videos. Like
You do a lot of research as well.
Yeah, I do a lot of research, but on the topics we want to talk about, we normally pre-plan. Not always, but most of the time we do.
Yeah, we have like a list of ideas of topics to speak about. And then when something out of the ordinary happens, we might talk about that instead.
Something that we're passionate about, talking about a lot between us in our everyday life. And we share it.
Or like the coronavirus.
Yep. If you want to know our thoughts on the coronavirus, click the link up above to view the video where we talk about that in more detail. Was that in our mango mukbang, where we just eat loads of fresh mangoes? We talked about that early stage, didn't we?
And the fire noodles? No.
I'm not sure. Fire noodles, oh my. And then you do some crazy things like, eat certain foods that you know might be quite intense to you, like the nuclear fire noodles. And I'm not used to spiciness, so then that's a real challenge for me mentally, but I like a nice challenge.
He was hilarious in that video.
Yeah. And yeah, I've done so much research on my own on like how to optimize audio, the video footage, improve my editing skills for the video, thumbnails, get better at those.
He's a geek.
Then I do a lot of search engine optimization stuff to the videos and the channel to make it more discoverable. Learning certain things from other mukbangers that we could implement into ours. And then there's the aspect of like, when you want to do mukbangs to a high level, you need really good equipment. Which I've so far personally spent around about $6,000 or $7,000 on the whole setup. So like the sound recorder, the lights, the microphone, the SD cards, the laptop, the microphone, tripods for the camera, like so many things. Because we don't do anything we don't do half measures, do we?
No.
We're going to do something.
Gotta do it proper.
Yeah. And we want to be a very successful mukbang channel, and we will over time, as long as we keep being consistent like we are. Yeah, and then there's all the time I spend editing videos, uploading them, putting all the details in for YouTube.
All the clearing up, of course.
Oh yeah.
The kitchen looks like a bomb at the moment.
Yeah. So all the time she spends cooking and like looking at recipes online, working out how to do them, experimenting, then all the washing up and clearing up she does, because I do pretty much all the tech geeky stuff. She does all the homely stuff, you could say.
Yes, we're taking traditional male and female roles.
Not that we're in any way traditional people. But I do the things that I'm better at, and you do the things that you're better at. So it's like perfect equal exchange. Just making sure the mic's still on because the batteries didn't recharge. Wow. This sauce is really rich. And she's full.
I did well.
If you eat to 100% stomach capacity,
If I was eating to 100% stomach capacity, I would probably eat about that much more.
no, but where are you at percent wise? Out of 100.
I'm not really that full. I'm just tired of eating this because it's quite rich. I'd say I'm about 50%. How about you?
Maybe around the same. So you're at the point of what you'd say is satiated. The point of satiation.
Yeah, I used to eat so that I would push myself after I'd felt full, but it doesn't make me feel good.
Well, it's a brilliant way to get
Overweight.
Unless you're someone like me that works out a lot and is building muscle and whatnot. Yeah,
Well,
you can get fat.
I don't really work out a lot anymore.
Yoga.
You do yoga. It's not a
Well,
workout.
It is. It is like more intense than my workouts. So it makes me sweat like crazy. It gets my heart rate up. It's a workout in itself for sure. And then we do acro yoga.
Yoga's
We
not
play around.
exercise. All right, people. It's not exercise.
It's movement.
It is movement, but yeah, different from exercise. It's a practice, a spiritual practice.
Yeah. But it also has a lot of similar things to calisthenics as well. So
It does. I mean, the style of yoga that we do
build strength and
is
fire.
very strength building, and some people might think it's a workout, but it's not.
But if done correctly, it will build strength and muscle.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can lose weight doing it, but I would say like you balance your metabolism more and balance your weight.
And then yeah, as mukbangers, you're always having to come up with new food ideas.
I might just use a spoon so I can have some sauce.
Which is good because a lot of time we end up eating foods that we've never eaten before. So it's like broadened our diversity in our diet.
And our gut microbiome too. So we'll have plenty of different bacterias in there that eat different things.
Bet your gut microbiome
Is that right? Eat. They don't eat things, do they?
Well, they do help in digestion and assimilation of food. But the better your gut microbiome is, the healthier you'll be, the stronger your immune system will be, better your mental health.
Yeah. What was that thing?
And the more food you eat, the more biodiversity you have with your gut microbiome. Oh no, I'm sweating so much, it's so hot in here again. I could just keep going and going, like, easily with this.
Really?
Yeah. Well, normally we do the videos for 30 minutes. Look where we are now.
True.
Shorter than normal.
Actually, I've got a second wind. I'm feeling hungry again. sometimes, as a mukbanger, I noticed that eating on camera is different from eating normally. So
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I'm full, and then we stop filming, and then I carry on eating.
That's fine. I don't do that. But
No, like
Right.
sometimes it's like, because I'm focusing on the camera, I'm not focusing as much as I would normally on eating the food. And so it's like, after I finish filming, I don't feel like I've eaten it somehow. It's really weird. So I would say, unless you're doing mukbangs, definitely focus on the food that you're eating and try not to be distracted on the phone and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because that can mess up digestion as well.
Yeah.
And eating is the first part of digestion.
Yeah. Hasn't normally happened to me. Normally, it's like if she stops eating for quite a while, we just end. And a lot of time, I then will continue eating after, because I'm not full. She normally gets fuller before I do.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm going to stop before I'm completely like full, because
We're going to do some acro yoga.
and some calisthenics, which is body weight training, and I need this to go down quicker rather than later. So the less I eat, the quicker it will leave my stomach, and then I can get on with doing those things.
So don't forget to like, share and subscribe.
And enjoy the rest of your amazing day.